Hey loves, I'm feeling called to open up the conversation around what, quote, creepy or weird or unwanted things to say to women are, to message women are, just that there's this like open discussion around it so that we can learn from both sides and know how we can work together towards creating a more loving, respectful, equal, safe future for everyone, not just like for women, but for men, for everyone, so that everyone feels really good and safe together. So it was prompted because I did a post yesterday called that I started off by some people wonder what quote creepy or unwanted things to say to women are, and I got awesome comments about it and I wanted to talk even more about it, and then I made like more notes about it. I get like so lit up by these things, and it really fascinates me to like get to the root of problems. Like in my theta healing, like I love theta healing because you get to the root of the subconscious issue, and when you like clear the root, everything else heals. Like you can get that one thing and then everything else has ripple effects. It's like the one big domino. Like if you hit the one domino right, it'll make everything else better. So going back into like history and how we're conditioned as a society and all these things like super fascinate me, because we can like figure out these tweaks that can make huge changes for everyone in a very positive way. And hi Jodine, hi Gabriel, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So because I've also been sharing like all of my posts recently, like also kind of on Instagram, or like clips on like Instagram stories, or like sending it to IGTV or YouTube, just so that like I'm reaching all the people, all my soul tribe, the people that like need this message and might not have like my Facebook posts that I like write out. I'm going to kind of like dissect it a little bit, and then I have like a million and two other ideas that came up when I was like talking about it too. And like my intention is like helping one person to see something differently or step into someone else's shoes, and like just give everyone permission to have these conversations, to speak our truth, especially as women, about what feels right, and for men to like check in and be like, how are you feeling? How is this for you? Like checking in is a hugely supportive task, just asking people how they're actually feeling and having like that safe space where there isn't a consequence, or no one's going to get angry if you feel unsafe or you want to slow down or you want to go home or stop what you're doing or whatever. Like it's so important, and it creates such more like deeply fulfilling and passionate and incredible relationships, which is amazing. And Gabriel says, it's really hard to ask people out without making people mad at me nowadays. That's very interesting. So we can have a conversation about that. I'm going to start with this just because like that's kind of how I played out, but I'm totally open to having kind of like Q&A and discussion about this towards the end for sure. And hi Holly, love all the hearts and love. You guys are so sweet. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. So my post was, some people wonder what a creepy or unwanted thing to say to women are. I love the comedian, and I really wish I could remember his name. I feel like I just like watched a random YouTube clip of him once, and it was very interesting. I loved how he had this. Okay, so I said, I love the comedian who related it to guys by getting them to imagine the big guy in the prison yard saying that thing to yourself before you ever say it to a woman, to a girl, even if you think it might be a compliment or nice. So his way that he was relating it to his guy friends, because he was always like around women and around his sisters, so like he could see it from their perspective, why they were scared of men, why they had all these different conditions and ways that they were brought up versus how girls were brought up. So he also made like a funny joke about like, why are guys scared to go to gay bars? Are you afraid that like the way that you hit on women and harass them is how like other gay guys are gonna like hit on you and harass you and like pin you down and rape you like in the middle of the dance floor because like you act like that to girls? Like, why are you afraid? So it was like so interesting, and I'm not like a comedian by any means, but it was very interesting to see how he was like bringing light and humor and education to a very serious topic that needs a lot more love and support and conversations around it. And hi Donna, I hope you're having an awesome day. Hi all the wonderful people popping on live. Hi Adria, okay, Andrea. I'm like, I can say words. Okay, so then I like kind of took the image a little bit further, because sometimes it feels very vulnerable being a woman when men are so much bigger and physically stronger than women. And in the work that I've been doing, especially like the past 2 years and more publicly this year, I've had so many conversations with women who want to share their stories, and clients and other girlfriends, and just like a bunch of stories around women who do, like, on a regular basis have that thing in the back of their head where they're scared of, if he wanted to, like, he could immediately, like, back me into this corner and do something. Like, if he wanted to, he could rip my shirt open. And unfortunately, like, there are attacks where guys can just, like, rip the girl's underwear off and, like, pull up her skirt and just, like, fucking attack her, and it's horrible. And that's why I wanted to, like, make it an even more, like, vulnerable kind of image for a guy to imagine, because sometimes, like, when I tend to not wear bras around the house that much. Like, I don't love bras, and I'm getting more and more into, like, the feminine woo-woo, spirit, free-flowy world. But, like, I'll wear a bra more often than not if I'm going out in public. I've done it a couple times in public, and I have a lot of, like, really awesome, like, soul sister amazing friends who are doing it more and more in public and feel empowered. But it brings a new level of, like, unsafety up and being looked at more, and, like, being just, like, more of an object of attention, or if your nipples get hard because it's colder all of a sudden when you go into air conditioning. Like, it's so interesting, like, the layers of healing that, like, I'm still growing into and expanding into through this whole world, and through what society has had in the past versus what fits for me and what feels really good for me, and what we're going to co-create as a better life and reality for future generations. Okay. And so then for, like, the more vulnerable thing, I was, like, not just, like, out on the, like, prison yard, or not even in the cafeteria, which I think was more what the comedian was talking about. I was like, okay, make it, like, vulnerable, like, how you feel when you're in a dress around drunk guys, like, vulnerable of, don't want random creepy guys or old weird guys or, like, super drunk big guys to, like, say these things to me. Get in, like, that headspace of, like, what that would mean on, like, the next level. So I said, like, quote, imagine you're in line for the shower wearing nothing but a towel, and the guy who's easily got twice your muscle mass is 6'6" and could pin you down in a second, saying any of these to you out of the blue. So, like, for a guy to put his mindset into the vulnerability of being in a human female body, which tends to be a lot less physically strong, to, like, imagine that scenario that you're, like, almost naked, and this big guy who may or may not be attracted to you, or might just be complimenting you, might just be nice to you, like, him saying any of these things out of the blue. So, like, just walking by you and being like, hey, sexy, or you're pretty, or hey, baby, or whistling, or catcalling, or just, like, going up to you and being like, I'd like to take you back to my place. And, like, I can't say the, like, voices, and I wish that I was more of a comedian and could, like, do that. But Eliza Schlesinger, I can't say her last name right, but she can do voices amazingly, and I've, like, fallen in love with all of her stuff, and I've, like, binge watched her comedy specials, and she has a book called Girl Logic, and it is all about, like, the shitty stuff that society has for women, where we have to be, like, respectable, yet sexy, yet demure, yet motherly, yet hot as fuck lovers, yet, like, all these weird things that we have to, like, process to be like, okay, how can I be safe here? How can I, like, belong to this friend group? How can I be okay with people at work? How can I make all of these things work? How can I attract a man? Because it's horrible to be, like, an old lonely maid in this society. Like, all of the different things. She talks about it and goes deeper into it, which I love. So yeah, I love that she also, like, does voices. Her comedy specials are hilarious. I highly recommend it. She has one called Confirmed Kills, so if you want to, like, they're Netflix specials, so if you want to, like, search Netflix, Confirmed Kills. Her book's called Girl Logic. Amazing. She's awesome. I've, like, binge watched all of her things. She's amazing. Okay. So, like, in those scenarios where a random guy way bigger than you who kind of seems like he's attracted to you, and you're definitely not attracted to him, and you're just, like, minding your own business, if he was like, hey, sexy, or you're pretty, or hey, baby, or I'd like to take you back to my place, or just, like, stares at you and, like, gawks weirdly for a while, or, like, whistles or catcalls at you, it's like, would you take that as a compliment, or be very fucking nervous that you're about to get raped later? Like, that's how women feel, and we're conditioned in a society to always be in groups and to never walk alone at night and to not have our headphones in when we're running, and definitely don't run alone if you're going to be near bushes or trees. So definitely don't take the like nice scenic routes. Guys can go on that. It's totally fine. Guys can bike and do all these great things, but like women have these things that we've been taught, and there's a lot of fear in the society around it's your fault, and like don't wear something that's too low cut or a skirt that's too short, because if you get assaulted, they might ask what the fuck you're wearing. Like, there's so many things that women have to consider and that we get blamed for. Like, I want to get into a million to do things with that too. Like, I'm not going to go too deep into like all these things. We can go more into all these conversations. I just kind of wanted to like go a little bit more in depth to what I was saying and open up more conversations. But if any of these are like really resonating with you guys, we can definitely do more in-depth lives and conversations about this later, because that was like part of my thing here is like I feel like the more we talk about this and the more we create space for both sides to be like, how can I help? How can I support women? How can I like see something differently to like make it better for everyone? Okay. So in my post, I was saying, the fear of potentially being attacked by a strange man who is biologically bigger and stronger than you is unfortunately common for women to deal with, and it needs to fucking stop. Everyone has the right to feel safe, both in person and online. And sometimes there's more of it online because like it doesn't seem as in person. Like you can't see someone's physical reaction, like when you all of a sudden get these messages. Like when I'm in my messenger, when I'm talking to people, when I'm texting people, I like to still imagine that there's a person in front of me, and how will I communicate with them like that to still be like a normal human being and not remove the humanity of it by being like, oh, I'm just talking to an image on a screen. And like, because I've had sexual harassment messages and creepy internet people, and all of those has made me have like a bunch of guards up around messages to men from men. So like all of a sudden getting a hey sexy message from any internet person who finds my page is like an instant block. If someone just like his only comment to a video that I'm doing like this is like, you're pretty or you're beautiful or like you can dance for me anytime or like weird shit like that, like I just delete it and I instantly block them because I don't feel safe with that. And I'm like, really hope you're not a crazy, unstable internet stalker person who's gonna like come and attack me and like rape me and kill me. Because like those are things that the girl logic has to deal with because that happens. And it was very interesting. I was even starting to like listen to like all of like Eliza's YouTube videos. Like there was like a playlist that I was just like running in the background while I was doing stuff. And she was on a podcast with Joe Rogan, and they were talking about when her book was being published, Harvey Weinstein was the publisher of it. So like it has a W on it, and there was a whole thing with that. I wasn't super familiar with it, but it sounded like he was like serial raping women. Like there was a lot of people that this was happening to and making them do things that they didn't want to do, but like if you want to be okay in this like Hollywood business, then this is what you have to do. Because it was like a man in power. And then they were talking about how there was something that happened with like Louis C.K. just like masturbating in front of women and like all these different things where men in power who are like physically stronger doing things, and like especially if they have like reputations and you don't want it to be like a he said, she said thing. Like there was all this stuff coming out around that, and that it's really unfortunate that we still live in a society, and that it's been very positive that with the internet, with Me Too movement, with, they were even talking about like with Black Lives Matter, with like everything coming out of like people speaking their truth and feeling safer and safer and speaking their truth and being like, yeah, it's happened to me too. Yeah, this is still happening. And yeah, we have to do something about it, has been super, super positive in shining the light on the very toxic, unhealthy shadows of our world so that we can work on it. Like, hurt people hurt people. I get that the people who attack women or rape people or molest people, like, they're very, very deeply hurt to put their pain and to attack another person. Like, I totally understand that hurt people are hurting people, and there's so many different ways that we can come at this problem and make the world a more loving, healed, respectful, open place, so that those negative things in the shadow aren't thriving any longer, and those aren't things that women are worried about. And like, to be honest, like, the original thought of this post was, it was like dark, and I was like, oh, I was going to take out the garbage before it got dark, and there's literally like a dumpster super close to the back of my building. Like, it's a 30-second walk, and I still don't take the garbage out once it gets dark, because in my head I'm like, that's not a safe thing to do. Versus my brothers just fucking do it. Like, I've seen like other people just do it, and I'm like, that's still a thing in my head. And like, back in university, there was this creepy guy who used to like apparently hang out outside around residents and jerk off, and one time he was drunk or got extra courage or something, and a girl came out, like, literally the dumpster compared to the residence door was like a 5-second, like, go out the door, an alarm will go if you like don't shut it within a very short amount of time, and like right there. And she just like went outside, and there was a guy like jerking off, like creepy guy, and there had to be police and stuff. Like, so like that's in my mind of like, even so close to where you're living, there can be like fucked up people in the world who are bigger than you are, especially when women are like 5'5" and like 100 pounds. Like, it's a very easy like math scenario of the majority of the men are like way bigger than them. So I really like that example that the comedian had given to help guys put their mindset in women's shoes, to be like, oh, okay, this is what they go through on a day-to-day basis. And a really powerful experience that Tony Robbins did in Date with Destiny was talk about how many people have been like potentially scared for their life, like considered doing something and was like, the consequence of me doing that could be I fucking die. And then not do things, like think about things and be like, okay, like I can't do that because it could put my life in jeopardy. And a very few number of men put their hands up for that. He asked the men first, and then he asked the women, same thing, in the past month, how many of you have considered doing something and are like, the consequence of this could be this, or like, I'm actually scared for my life because like I'm walking to my car and it's kind of dark and there's a guy just standing over there and I don't know if he's looking at me and I don't know what he's about to do, and he's kind of close to my car, like maybe I should go back in and get a security guard to walk me out to my car. Like, those kind of things where women have to be very vigilant of their safety, and like, I could fucking die if I like do this and don't trust my intuition here, and like just like live in the world that we live in. And almost all the women's hands went up, like so many women's hands went up for that, and I was just like, yeah, like it's a real thing, and it's so fucking normalized in our society, like teaching girls to put your keys in between your fucking knuckles when you're walking from your car to your house and from work to your car if it's a little bit dark, isn't something that should be normalized in this world. My personal opinion, I think that we can do better as a human race in the 21st century. And because I have that call in my heart, I'm like, I know that I'm part of the mission and the people who will like help to change that. And I love all the people who are still like on live for this, and like everyone who's going to watch this later, because everyone who is called to this can also like do their part. Like, I firmly believe that we can all be the change that we want to see in the world. Okay. I'm like, there's so many things. I'm like, there's things here and there's things that I was talking about, and I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm going to check into your guys' comments and see what your thoughts are. And also a thing beeped, so I'm going to go take that out of the oven. Okay, I'm multitasking, but now the comments came in, so that's awesome. Okay. not to disempower it, but honorable men would never attack people. I agree. But when you're walking just out in the world, there's no like sign on top of good guys versus bad guys' heads. Like, we can't know that. I am so grateful that I am so fucking intuitive, and like I can just be like yes or no when I basically see people, which is amazing, and why I really encourage all of my women that I like do work with and are in my groups and stuff to like really tune in to their intuition, because we can feel people's energy. Like when I'm walking, I can feel people's energy when I turn it on. Like I can also like numb it the fuck down if I want, but that's a huge resource and skill that I didn't have years ago. That the more that I've tuned into myself and gotten really connected with my body and the energy around me and the gifts that I have, and we're all empathic, like we can all sense people's energy. You can tell if you just walked into a room where like people were fucking like having it out and then they shut it up right before you walked in. Like people can feel that, and we can grow into those incredible gifts and abilities that we have as humans the more we go. But unfortunately, a lot of men who attack women get away with it. A lot of women still suffer in silence. A lot of women don't want to be that whole he said, she said, on top of the trauma that they're going through, on being attacked, on being harassed, on being raped, on being whatever. So it's not like we have a society where like an X has been put onto the guy's skin for the rest of his life because he did that to a woman. I wish that that could be a thing, that like if they did something like that blackened their soul, that it would show up on their physical body, but we can't tell what the honorable men look like versus the not. Okay. And then Holly said, huge rape agenda. It's horrid, evil, sorely outweighing. Yeah, it's very terrible. And then Holly said, thank you for sharing this. You're so welcome. You're right. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. You guys are awesome. Okay. So back to the original post that I was doing. So I said, I feel like I want to say a million things here about creating a society where we don't objectify women, because I feel like that's a piece. How we're marketed to, how we treat women, all that. Where guys don't feel like they deserve something from a girl, because unfortunately some boys have been taught from a young age that they can just have a lot of the things that they want, or that it's okay to take what they want. And some will talk about like, I'm like, how deep do I want to get in this? Because I'm like, I could go on for hours and hours, and I do have these conversations with women, and I'm like, it's time to do this more publicly and to also bring men into the conversation, because it's so supportive to have men as allies in this as well. Okay. So some guys will be like, well, I bought you dinner, so I deserve sex. Or I got you a drink, so you have to make out with me or like blow me. Or like, I'm turned on, I have an erection, what are you gonna do about it? Like, as if it's a fucking like condition that if you give a guy an erection because you exist and hold space in the world, that you were now responsible for doing something with his erection. Like, that is fucking ridiculous. And like, I was even of that mindset and belief system. Like, when I first got in like a serious relationship when I was a teenager, I felt horrible giving my boyfriend, quote, blue balls. But I was like, I'm so glad I was strong in my belief system. Like, I was so stern in my belief system. Like, I'm not fucking going to be like a pregnant teenager in high school, so I'm not having sex during high school. Like, no. I'm like, my goals in life are to do extremely well in school so that I get the scholarships, so that everything else life works out. So I'm like, there's no place for like pregnant baby things, because I lived in a very small town in a rural area, and there was girls who were getting pregnant at school, and I'm like, not me. No. Not that I had like a lot of boyfriend options, but it was just a thing where I'm like, no, I'm waiting. I waited until I was 18. 20, okay. I'm trying to get back to my the thing, because my laptop shielded out. Cool. Okay. So the deserve something, like that definitely has to be changed. Like, men who see other men who think that they deserve something from a woman, or if she's like blackout drunk who still wants to just like take advantage of her. Like, those are things where men and women can as a group be like, that's not cool, that's not safe. And like, if you're seeing that in a bar, like, tell the security people, tell the like people who work there, like, get the person help and safety things. And like, just also, I'm like, there's also like the date rape culture. Like, there's so many areas of this that we can go into. Like, be mindful of everyone's drinks and not just like assume that because you're a guy, like, it's fine. Like, also be mindful of the scenario that you're in and the environment that you're in for the girl that you're with as well. And like, don't be an asshole if she, because there was a guy asking about like dating and like how to date. It's like, well, don't be an asshole and just like bring a drink to a girl and be like, totally drink this thing that I have. Be totally understanding that we live in a culture where there can be date rape and people can just slip stuff in drinks. So be okay that if you're gonna buy a drink for a girl or offer to buy a drink for a girl, that they get it from the bartender and not from you that could have secretly done that. And not to be like, you don't trust me that you're like, that I'm not a rapist, but to be like, I totally understand that if I was in your body and I was in a culture that you're living in, that this could be a fear that you have. So I want to make sure that you feel really safe and that you feel really comfortable. So instead of like making you feel bad about not wanting to just take a drink from me because I'm going to take it personally, or I'm going to think that you think bad of me or don't trust me or something like that, instead of being in that mindset, that you could have the opportunity to shift into, okay, I can understand being in a woman's body in this society, and that there are people in this world who aren't honorable men, who aren't gentlemen, who aren't the kind of gentleman that I am who's tuning into this video. So I understand that. I want to make sure that you always feel safe and that you always feel really good with me. So we'll prioritize that safety by buying a drink at the bar and not any other kind of scenario. Okay. And then also I was saying, okay, where women prioritize their safety over what people might think about them. Because it's crazy the amount of police reports where women felt like they shouldn't have gone down that street. They shouldn't have gotten in the car with him. They should have fucking crossed the street and just been like, someone's coming at me, their energy's horrible, I'm just gonna fucking cross the street. Like, in our minds, women are taught and conditioned to be so people-pleasery that we put the perceived maybe judgment that someone else is going to have on us above our own safety, and they can be attacked from that. And I feel like that's terrible, and I can definitely see how in the past I would have done the same thing, because I would prioritize other people's potential opinions and judgments on me way above my own health and safety, which was like fucking scary to look back on it. And I'm so grateful for how I turned out in my life, because there have been things where I look back and I'm like, I'm really grateful that everything was fine with that. Like, so yeah, to just, as women, understand that our priority always is our safety, and it doesn't matter if it bothers someone, or they could maybe take it personally, or they could maybe think that you think something bad about them because you're crossing the street. What matters is that you're safe, always. And there were also like TED Talks where I was listening to, like, there's literally a million places I could take this. So the TED Talks that I was listening to, it was very interesting that there's a lot of trauma coming up with teenagers when they're first having sex, and then like the trauma will continue throughout their life with their sexual experience. And they did all this research, and scientists, and I don't have all those details because that's not the field where I'm in, but I'm sure if you like Google TED Talks about sex and teenagers and trauma and all those things, you could probably find it on YouTube. So the person who was doing the research found, in talking with young girls, their satisfaction for sex, like what satisfactory sex was no pain, no discomfort, and that the guy came, that he had his pleasure. And that satisfying sex for boys, for teenagers, when they're having their first time and first sexual experiences, were that they came. And I feel like that's an incredibly low bar versus everyone's having pleasure, everyone's feeling safe. And what really made me like sad for the world is that girls were spreading amongst themselves and being told that if you're in a scenario where you're like on a date with a guy, or he's seeming like he wants more, he's pushing for more, and you're like making out and he's like seeming like he wants to take it further, that girls are like spreading within themselves and making it like a new thing that if you don't want to have sex with a guy, that you'll just give him a blowjob and leave because you don't want him to like rape you, but you don't want him to like pin you down and fucking attack you. So you're doing something not really that you want to do, not really that you're like excited in any way means to do. You're just like, I'm now on this date with this guy and it's not great, but I'm like here, and if I don't give him a blowjob, then he might fucking attack me. So I'm just gonna do this and then never see him again. I'm like, what kind of world do we live in? Like, I understand it. I understand being around a guy who's like way bigger than you. And I totally remember in university, the first time my roommate was away when I like was with a guy, and I was like, oh my God, like I love arms. So like he had huge arms, and I was like, he could probably do whatever the fuck he wanted. I was like, he is so big, and that spurred me into doing, there was different self-defense classes, and one was like done by this like super incredible like female police officer, and like I learned that. Like, anyway, so I'm like, these things aren't taught in school. Maybe instead of like regular phys ed, we should like have personal safety and self-defense classes too, like, because that was money out of my own time and pocket and energy that I had to do to like learn other life skills that I feel like all women should have. And I also like grew up with two brothers, so I'm very able to like handle myself, which is nice. And the like power dynamic starts so early. So like if you have children, to also like talk about that with them, like, because we're now the adults who are going to parent the next generation. It's so important to also have conversations with them about that, because I remember when like back in middle school, when like guys started getting stronger than girls, that a couple guys were like assholes and they turned out not to be great people in life. But a couple of my friends had like little crushes on them, and every once in a while when I'd go over to the group when those guys were around, the guys were treating them like fucking shit, and they like realized that they could like physically push them around, and they were doing it as like a joke. And they had the misfortune of like doing that push thing, like it was knocking the girls back, and I was like, okay, I get that you think that they're cute, but like this isn't fucking okay. So then they did that to me, and I like pushed them right the fuck back. Like I'm 5'9", almost 5'10", and grew up with brothers. So I was like, this isn't okay. You can't just like do this to someone that's weaker than you. I'm like, that's fucking horrible. So those dynamics can start at a very young age. So I'm like, felt really called to mention that. And I'll check back into the comments because I see more people popping up in the little corner and then coming back. I'm just all over the place, and I want to have a conversation, and I super encourage you guys to talk with each other in the comments, to ask questions in the comments, so that this is like an actual conversation where people can expand their mind, we can think of new ideas, we can like spark each other's inspiration and all these things. Okay, so prioritize our safety over what other people might think. And I also like want to co-create a world where like all the great men out there, all the honorable men that we were talking about earlier, are our allies. Like, do understand that this is what's happening. And it's interesting that that sometimes happens when men have daughters and they're like, I don't want the way that the locker room talk or some of the guys that I've seen in a bar to ever fucking act like this to my daughter, and then start to be like, okay, how can I shift this? How can I bring this up? How can I say that I'm not going to stand for this? And what can I do to make it supportive for all these things? So I love the men, like, and I have such incredible high vibe, like king energy, awesome men in my life. And I want to like super honor them and thank them, because it sucks when all people get painted with the same broad brush stroke. but like we were talking about earlier, it's not like we can put like a big X on someone's head because they one time attacked a girl or threatened a girl or actually did do the horrible things that we're talking about to women. So I just really want to like thank and honor every single awesome, high vibration, quality, good guy out there, and gentleman and nice guy, for being awesome and for stepping up to continue to listen to this and to actually act and move in your own inspired action when you see stuff like this. And like offering support to your friends makes such a big difference in the world. Like I truly, truly, truly resonate with the quote, be the change you want to see in the world, because everyone just doing their own piece makes the entire world a better place. Like everyone doing it makes the whole collective better. So asking a friend of yours who's a girl if she feels okay or safe walking to her car, like it means the world to me when guys will like drop me off and make sure that I'm actually in the door, that I'm not just like, okay, like dropped you off, like cool, like that I actually get into the entrance of my home. Like that makes me feel so much better. Okay. And I'm checking back into the comments because they all populated. Hey Laura, I hope you're having an awesome day. Okay. And Laura says, I have one from tonight. I was told that I look like jailbait. Yes, like, what kind of society is that okay? Like, it's not okay to say those things. And to even, like, put it deeper, it's like, if, to go along the lines with, like, bring it back to your family, like, if you say something to someone, like, okay, I'm all over the place. As a man, if you think, I'm going to say this to her as like a compliment, that she'll think that, oh, she's jailbait, which means she's so cute or whatever, would you want someone to say that to your mother? Would you want your mother to hear you saying that? Would you want someone to talk about these things or talk to your wife or your girlfriend or someone that you love who's a woman, or your daughter or your sister in those ways? So it's important to like put that lens on it. And also like when you hear it, to not laugh at it, to be like, that's not cool. Okay. And then Kimberly, you sent me eyes. That's interesting. Does that just mean you're tuning in and loving what I'm saying? I'm going to take it as that. Okay. So yeah, talking about where men are like allies to us and call other men out for saying the things that make women uncomfortable or scared, and when our boys are being raised better and our girls are being raised better, to know our standards, to know that we can speak our truth, and how to respectfully communicate to everyone. I feel like those are so important. So yeah, in my post I was saying, I think a very powerful thing to do is have open communication about it so that we can create solutions together. I truly feel like that. So women can feel safe and supported when they say that they're uncomfortable or when they're getting catcalled or harassed, and so that men can ask questions like some men have been asking me, which I love. So that men can ask questions and what they can do to help in the world that we live in today. I believe that we can all co-create a better world together. We can all be the change that we want to see in the world. Okay. So then I had a comment that I want to go into more detail on. And Laura says, I told him off. Good job. And like, make sure that that's always done in a safe way. So important. Okay. So someone commented on that as, okay, so he said, as a semi-large construction worker, and like I love his questions and what he brought up. It brought up so many insights, which is why I'm doing this live. So he said, as a semi-large construction worker, I don't feel that women should fear men who might flirt with them or be compared to criminal predators. So then I shared, I love your comment so much. Thank you for sharing. I have so much to say on this topic, and I'm currently doing the live about it. So I said that I agree women shouldn't fear men at all, but we do. We're told to never walk alone at night, always be in a group, and to jam our keys between our fingers when we're walking to our parked car if it's dark, and to not run without headphones, and especially if you're on a path near trees or bushes. There are non-creepy ways to say hi to a woman and judge how safe she's feeling, and if she's actually interested in talking to you before the flirting begins. And then I also mentioned, like, I wasn't trying to compare men or men in general at all to criminal predators, but it's typically hard for men to put themselves in another mindset of being in a woman's shoes. Most women have to consider their level of risk and safety to a much higher degree than men on a regular basis, unfortunately. It's not as common in society for the majority of men to fear the consequences of doing something or being attacked or raped. And, like, I can see that when, like, my brothers will do things that I have to consider, like, boyfriends will just do things, and I'm like, I can't do that alone as a single woman. Like, those aren't things that I can do. I have to go with a guy or just, like, go in a group of friends, and I can't just do it myself, which I feel is very unequal and unfair in the 21st century. Okay, so then I was talking back in my comment. The majority of men, it's not as common in society for the majority of men to fear the consequence of doing something as being attacked or raped. But because of TV, there have been jokes of men not wanting to go to jail, especially if they're little or scrawny or like they're like the pretty boy, because they'll be like, I can't go to jail because I'm going to get raped, or like I'm going to be forced to be the little spoon, and they don't want to be the little spoon to the big guy. So to kind of have that just like in the back of your head to be like, would I be scared if someone else said it to me in this situation? Because there's so many ways to just be like, hi. Hi is a great way to say hi to people. You don't have to say like, hey, sexy, or like cat call or anything else, or whistle. You can just be like, hi, how are you? Hello, how are you? If the girl's immediately like, hi, and like cold and doesn't really reply and is immediately talking about a boyfriend, she's not interested. So then you can just go on your way. Okay. So Laura says, you would love the show we are doing right now called Heal, about healing from sexual trauma. Beautiful. I love that. Such a powerful show, almost about this exact subject. Awesome. I love that. And I'm sending you guys so much love and success with that. That's amazing. I would totally love that. So then in his comment, he had said, I think the message is important, but what women doesn't like to feel attractive with a wink or a whistle or other benign come on? Do women not express themselves sexually with provocative clothing, etc.? It's confusing to be a gentleman with modern women negating all traditional courtship behavior between men and women. Maybe I'm just old and out of touch, but I'm open to recommendations as I've hit on women before, and now I'm wondering if that's still okay. And I absolutely love the conversation that he's bringing in so many areas. And I hope that this is still serving and supporting you guys, and I love everyone who's still online. If you guys want to like share your own experiences, if you're on live or the replay, I totally honor that. I encourage it, and I want this to be like a platform of conversation. Okay. So I shared as the next comment was 99% of the men who have whistled at me have creeped me out. And women are taught to ignore it, keep on walking, smile, or laugh to stay safe. Like just giggle it off and like keep going, like to like ignore it, because other reactions could have more negative responses. So I said I love Eliza. So Eliza Schlesinger. I think I'm saying her last name right. A comedian who jokes that if a confident woman yelled back, go fuck yourself, that she better be on the other side of the street, know in her head that she could probably outrun the guy if he like got pissed off by that comment, and still in her girl logic, the like thought would cross her mind like, I really hope he doesn't attack me and rape me and kill me. Like, those are real things that women have to deal with in society. So then I shared the only times I've loved being whistled at and called hey sexy, etc. is when I've been dating the man, and then I put in brackets like where we've both officially consented and decided to go on dates together and be in each other's lives and express how we feel to each other, where we've both decided that. And then I'm like, I have so many more things to say about this. So yeah, I feel like just always playing on the safe side and making sure that women feel safe will get you so much further faster. And it's super, super important to prioritize other people's well-being if you care about them. So you can always ask, how does it feel? Like, if you want to randomly go up to a woman and be like, hey, sexy, and then see how that goes, and then be like, how did it feel when I called you hey, sexy? Like, I'm like, that's just not gonna go well. Because the girl's probably gonna be like, okay, or fine, like, okay. Maybe a better scenario for that would be ask a friend of yours who's a girl, or a sister, or not, or your mother, and be like, how did it feel when you were like walking or getting groceries or out on the street or like minding your own business on social media and someone randomly messaged you, hey, sexy, or like just like, you're pretty, just like in a private message, or like other more non-creepy things. It makes us feel uncomfortable. And usually it's not encouraged for us to talk about it, so we don't talk about it, which is why more of that stuff continues to like spread in a very toxic, negative, bad, unhealthy way. Okay. So yeah, then he shared, like, it is true, I do maybe struggle to put myself in that mindset. I never actually realized why women have to always be guarded. So yeah, I love that supported him in shifting that mindset, and it like lit me up, and I'm like, okay, this has to be shared more. So then getting back to, he had shared, okay, do women not express themselves sexually with provocative clothing, etc.? I, again, have so many things to share about this. I personally love the clothes that I wear because I love them. I'll tend to wear more sexual and like cleavage clothing at home, or like at home around my boyfriend. Like, I don't tend to wear those clothes when I'm on a Facebook Live, when I'm out in public, or I'll like change out of what I was wearing or like workout stuff and like cover up more when I'm even making my like little dance videos, because I don't want negative male attention. And then Eliza has a bit in her comedy show where she talks about, like, she works out, like, she does what society says women should do and like work out and take care of our bodies, and she has an awesome body from that. And also people are then like, don't show it off, you're a brag, blah blah blah. Like, you can't fucking win. Like, there's so many things in society where it's like, if you do it, you're fucked. If you don't do it, you're fucked. Like, people will have negative opinions and criticism on everything that you do. So in her bit, she was saying that like she loves her body, and like when they go out as single women to like go to the club and find cute guys that they're attracted to, that she'll be like cute and like, look at how awesome I look and stuff for like the attractive guy that she's like trying to get the attention of. But then like everyone else, she's like, hide it, don't look at me, like, don't look at my bum, like, don't look at me, like, no. And I feel like it's really shitty that we live in a society where men assume that how women are dressing is for them. Like, that's selfish as fuck to be like, another human this morning when she was getting dressed decided that random stranger who's gonna see me walking by, I'm gonna look real sexy for him. Like, I feel like that is such a terrible belief. And that we should give women as like a society a break for like what they wear, and just let women wear what they feel happy and good in for their body type and their self-esteem and for everything, and to not objectify women, to like stop using women's bodies to sell products. I feel like that is really not healthy for society. Yeah, like with like, you can like, when you see something where it's just like a hot girl in a bikini like eating a Big Mac, like, or like a big burger or something, like, I remember there was like a really disgusting Super Bowl commercial, and like it was just like cars and boobs to sell like a fucking like burger. Like, that is gross. And then a lot of women like disassociate from their body, and they want to hide it, they want to cover it up, and I totally relate to that. Like, that's a big thing. I've forever and a day bought clothes that like, I have a bigger chest. I've always bought things to cover that up, and like have sweaters and have things where like I can pull it over and protect myself. And then like when I do want to like show it off and like I have a partner, I'll like wear a jacket until I actually meet up with him, and then it's fine for me to be like out with my boyfriend showing cleavage, because then I'm showing it like for me and him, and then it's fine. And like just all the society stuff is so weird. So I'm hoping that for all the guys still listening are like seeing the inner workings of women's brains and what we have to like consider and go through. And really, 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 I highly recommend Girl Logic if you want to like go a little bit deeper into it. And it's also like really funny. Like Eliza is a hilarious comedian, so maybe check out her like Netflix specials first, and like her book is really, really good if you want to like understand women more deeply. Okay. So then I made notes of like things that I wanted to like hit on. Okay, so to express themselves sexually with clothing. So then like it's confusing being a gentleman. Just ask, like check in with your partner. Like when you say or do things, ask how they're feeling, especially when the relationship's brand new. The more you can ask and make sure that the woman's feeling safe and good at the steps that you're going, like, how do you feel about this? Like, even making out, you can very sexily and nicely be like, does this feel good? Are you good with this? Do you want to slow down? Is it okay if we take this to the bedroom? Like, asking questions is important, and asking what their boundaries are, being like, if I come in, what are you expecting? What do you expect of me? Let's be on the same page of this. Like, I've been on the same page with guys where I'm like, I'm totally fine making out with you, but like my shirt and clothes are staying on, or like getting on further dates and being like, this is awesome. Do you want to come in and we can make out and like keep my pants on, but everything else, let's like have fun. Like, have those steps where you're checking in and making sure that you're feeling safe. And the more that my partners throughout my dating experience have been supportive and honoring that and checking in with me and not pushing back and not making a joke and not like trying to slip a little bit further and not like trying to do any like gross sleazy shit, like the more the relationships go better and smoother, and both people are getting enjoyment from it, which is good. Okay. So I talked about Elijah and her bit. Girl Logic. Oh yeah. Another thing that was funny on the Joe Rogan podcast where Eliza was talking to him about like him having daughters and that whole experience. She was saying that her whole thesis is like that this started because men were stronger. That if women were equally as strong as men or more strong than men, that we wouldn't have waited so fucking long to get the right to vote. She was like, she made a bit, and I can't do her like voice, but she's like, if women were stronger than men, she'd be like, Jebediah, get the fuck out of the door, I'm gonna go vote. Like, she'd just do that, but women were scared, and it's in like the recent years, like, your grandmother might have just like stayed home and had babies, or like your great grandmother would have just like stayed home and had babies, and like that was her role in life, and that's like very recent in human history and super unhealthy because a lot of women didn't just want to like stay home and have babies, but that was like basically the only thing they could do. Anyway, that could be a whole other thing, and I'm realizing that this is getting very loud, so I love all the people who are still alive. You guys are awesome. And then other stuff, like, if this wasn't, like, super, super long, I'd go deeper into, like, some online dating stuff. Like, one guy that I was just chatting with on Tinder, when I said that I wanted to meet in a public place first, he, like, made a joke, like, oh, are you gonna, like, oh, were you planning on attacking me? Like, he made a cute joke, and then the next time he talked about meeting me, he's like, hey, so what time are we gonna meet up for a drink and then for you to attack me later? And I'm like, no. So I talked a lot more about that for all the lovely ladies who are listening in my free Bliss community. It's called BLISS. It's a free community just for women. It's a sacred safe space container where I talk about more personal things and that we can all share in a way where we're not nervous or feeling stifled or that we should dull our shine or not quite speak up because there might be a man looking onward. So that's a beautiful safe space for us to talk more in. And I talked about Date with Destiny, where Tony got us to raise our hands. Yeah, talked about the incredible guys who are doing awesome things in the world. And yeah, also in Bliss, I was talking more about like, know what your standards are and always prioritize your safety. So for all the lovely ladies who are listening to this, who want more information about that, and also I do downloads in Bliss to support you in what you're going through in your life and speaking your truth and your dating experience, to be a confident single woman, like all the different things. So I definitely recommend joining Bliss and just like scrolling through some of the videos I've been doing recently so you can get the downloads that you need, the healing that you need, the inspiration and knowledge that you need, so that we can all be better versions of ourselves. Okay. And Laura says, the fact that he commented about what they're wearing just doesn't sit well with me. Yeah, it doesn't matter what they wear. You still shouldn't catcall anyone. Yeah, catcalling is bullshit. You're an immature male if you catcall. Like, just like not do that. Have normal conversations. Begin it with hello. And then Laura says, I'm gonna hop off soon to go to bed, but I'll watch the replay. Good night. Good night, Laura. I hope you have an awesome night. And then Trevor, hey Trevor, good morning. So I'm actually popping off because I think that this has been an hour. So I love everyone who's watched this far. I definitely encourage everyone to share their stories, to make suggestions, to offer solutions, to ask more questions, because I'm so in love with this conversation and co-creating a better world with everyone who's feeling inspired to do that like next step. And it could be just like, this can be a seed in the back of your mind and you see something a year from now and be like, that's not cool. And just like fucking standing up for yourself or someone else. And I feel like that's super positive. Trevor says, or good night, whichever it is for you. Yeah, it's good night for me. I am all the night owls. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for all of your contributions and your comments. I love you guys so much, and I hope you're having an awesome day. Bye.